Now we get underway with the final for KZ2, and here is your starting grid. So on pole position, it's going to be the 2-1-6 of Robin Glerum with Thomas Cypers alongside on the front row. Jens Stroyer and Christian de Klein will round out row number 2, followed by Siep Kuipers and Gianni Andrisani. Renzo Alibax and Gil Mertens round out row 4, completing the top 10. It's a pair from SP Motorsport, Quinn Winkel and Enzo Boll. Dion van Werven and Kevin Stehauer round out the top 12. Jeffrey Fixer and Daniel Tenbach will line up on row 7 with Farin Mega, Jimmy Devine, Janno Opmeer, Bart Plug, Cedric Malk and Sam van Verskuilen running at the top 20. Completing the 25-strong grid will be Dan Zopfi, Rick Vordendag, Maxime Deleur, Erik Angenent and Dirk van Silfhout. So looking back at the pre-final, 3 drivers actually got caught out with a jump start and got a 3-second time penalty. One of which was the 2:42 of Jens Stroyer. Then also the 2:38, Cedric Malk, and the 2:05 of Jeffrey Fixer. Also with that, 5 drivers got front-fairing penalties, including Sam van Verskuilen, the 2:65, Erik Angenent, 2:72, Dan Zotfi, 2:02, Maxim Dua, and the 2:12 of Rick Vordendag. So, yeah, a lot, a lot going on. But of course, the next round of the championship will take place on the 17th of March at Circuit Berghem, back in the Netherlands. So there won't be much respite. Of course, drivers do have other commitments with other championships. Also, if they have work to deal with, limited amount of availability of possible testing. But it's going to be a very, very busy season ahead. A total of 8 rounds in the championship. And after today, we'll be at the halfway point of the 2024 Benefit League, run in conjunction with the Rotax Belgium Max Challenge for round 2. Well, the second round, which will be effectively round 3 of the Chrono Karting Dutch Championship takes place at the same time, at the same circuit, on the 28th of April at the circuit in Marienburg at Karting de Fagne. So the first few rows have gotten into position as everyone starts making their way onto their respective grid slot on the start-finish straight. After this, we'll have the Senior Rotax Top 36 final to conclude the opening round of the 2024 Dutch Rotax KZ2 and Masters Championship powered by Chrono Karting. The revs build, the throttles being blipped to keep the engine circulating. Green flag at the back. Drivers get themselves ready. Red lights are on, red lights are out. And an absolute scramble and a half as everyone fans out. Contact in the middle of part of the row, completing the top 6. Heading into turn number 2, as we've already got one around and has already been collected. That is the 2-2-3. Daniel Tenbach. And there's also one to hit. There's another cut as well that has been compromised, and that is I think it's the 2-12. Rick Vordendag might also be out of the race. Looks like Daniel Tenbach has managed to get going again. There's Christian de Klein on the CRG 299 entry, closing in on possibly, I think there might be Thomas Cypers just ahead. But Robin Glerum, I think, is currently leading the way. We'll find that out as they come across the line to complete the opening lap in the KZ2 final. Cypers leads the way. Glirum, Decline, Troyer, Alibax, Kuipers, Bol, Adrisani, and has dropped down to 8th. Gil Mertens 9th. Budplug 10th. Quinvinkel 11th, head of Kevin Stehauer. Jimmy Devine, Jeffrey Fixer, Dion van Verven, Cedric Malk, Jano Opmeer, Farin Mega, who's dropped 3 places down to 18th. Doug van Zifthout has rocketed from 25th to 19th. Sam van Verskuilen rounds out the top 20 as the field makes its way through turn number 9. Down the short chute into Cafeteria Corner here at turn 10. Just carry the momentum through, then power out of the corner. Overtakes happening through turn 10. Sam van Verskuilen, I think, just went through on Van Zifthout, through for 19th at turn 10. Clean move there, as threading the eye of the needle. Some drivers trying to get a little bit more, let's just say, exuberant going into turn 2. So now onto the back straight away. Pedal to the metal, foot to the floor, and then rip up the gears. And then on the brakes, down 3, maybe 4 gears into, well, I would say if you're in 6th gear at full velocity, heading into turn 7 at the chicane, I would probably say you're going to be going down 3 gears at least, and you'll be carrying that momentum through. So Cyprus leading the way. Rick Vordendag is out of the race, I'm afraid. 10 back all the way down in 24th. So still waiting for possible further changes. Buttplug up to P10. 6 places gained by the 281 as we complete the first 3 minutes out of 13, plus the 2 additional laps. Adding a little bit more fire to the mix. As, 281 Buttplug had a little bit of a moment trying to get up the inside of Gil Martens in the 234 through turn 6. As the 281 nearly had a little bit of a drama. Maybe if could have been a possibility that the back end might have stepped out, and that does sometimes happen when you're a bit over exuberant with the curbs. Also, the fact with the curbs, you have to be very, very careful with regards to mechanical sympathy. The chassis is the effective suspension of these carts, so you know, the less abuse you give it, the better off that you're going to find when it comes to getting towards the end of the race. And there is the 234, Gil Mertens, being followed by Plug. Jeffrey Fixer a couple of positions back. Quinvinkel still holding on to 11th, but Kevin Stehauer now 0.3 of a second behind just a few moments ago as they cross the line to complete lap 4. Cycle still leads the way. Glirum, Decline, Troyer, Kuipers, Alibax, Bol, Adrisani, Mertens, Plug. That's the top 10 as it stands at the moment as we head on to lap 6. And one of the things that I've noticed over commentating on KZ2 and KZ2 Masters, which was the first time since I commented, 2019 Rissington Motorsport UK British Kart Championships, met Maranello factory driver at that point, Fabian Federer. Great guy. It was a one-off appearance, and even he made a slight mistake in the second final, but you know, he came back to win it. And as I said, these are not these carts, these machines are not to be taken lightly. So fastest lap at the moment, Jens Troyer 52.416. And is trying to close the gap to Christian Decline. And there they are, the top 4, make that the top 10 at least. And then everyone else starts cycling through. And then head on to the Europalan. Send has just happened through turn 7. Trying to catch out the number of that one. I think it might have been the 2:11. Kevin Steyer. And so, right. Late attempt there from, I think, was possibly Dion van Verven. But Plug now drops to 12th place. Vinninvinkel now rounds out the top 10. But the top 4, Cypers, Glirum, Decline, and Troya rounding out the top 4 were covered by just under 9.5 tenths of a second after 7 laps. Decline, new fastest lap of the race, 52.363. So Glirum and Cypers will have to watch their 6, as they've got a very, very fast, hungry young Dutchman to try and get past them. And when the gap was just over 5 tenths of a second, here comes the move for P2. Decline up the inside of Glirum, through at turn 12. Neat exchange there. Glirum gave the room. Decline saw the move. Glirum responded and gave the 299 enough racing room to get through. Troy, however, is a different matter. Looking up the inside through at turn number 4, and the 242 gets through. Great move there from Troy to get into a podium position. So just teed it up nicely through 4, got the job done at 5. Now has bridged a slight gap in his favour, about a kart length and a half or 2. Eight minutes down, 5 to go, plus 2 laps. Cypers still leads. Decline. Troyer now pulling away from Robin Glirum in the 2:16. Kuipers in... Oh, right, well, someone just went and threw the Hail Mary up the inside at turn 7. Getting past one of the CRG carts. Just going to try and see if I can keep an eye for that cart that will be coming through turn 10 now. Oh, yeah, Kevin Steyer. Neatly moved up the inside of Gil Mertens through at turn 10. So the 2, 3, 4... very much unable to respond to it, but still, that's the thing. It's a very different skill set in these KZ2 karts, because you're really concentrating on so much. Your body is picking up a significant amount of G-force. This is why a lot of drivers, such as Albon, Sainz, Verstappen, Norris, Alonso, they all do karting, because it helps with first of all, your cardiovascular fitness, but also the rough and tumble nature of this class really helps, helps you build up your muscles and everything that work with regards to when you're racing in Formula 1 or the World Endurance Championship. But now we are going to see a change for second. Oh, dearie me. Jens Troy went for the move on Christian Decline, clattered into the right rear wheel, lost out second, and Decline went, thank you very much. But I hope that it hasn't caused any slight drama. The thing is, doing a move like that, Troyer has just brought back into the fray Robin Glirum. Then Steve Kuipers is there, along with Renzo Alibax. So there is an opportunity for those 3 drivers at the back end of this train to then be able to close on in and maybe take an opportunity that allows them that chance. Right, okay, 270 has just been given Dion van Verven has just been given a slap on the wrist, aka for unsportsmanlike driving, 3-second time penalty. Van Verven, who currently is running in 13th place, Well, that's going to drop him towards the bottom of the top 20 if he's not careful. Still 2 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. Well, 2 laps. Still getting my head around that. But I'm very much in favour of the regulation that we have here at Chrono Karting of when 2 full starts happen, we get a red flag, the timer continues to count down. Well, that's also to help with scheduling, but also it's the onus of the drivers to get it right. Cyprus's lead is now just under 0.6 of a second. Christian Leclerc has done the fastest lap of the race a little bit earlier on. 52.363. So Fine Mega's now moved up to 16th position. Ahead of Jana Otmir. Otmir not having, if it was in wetter conditions, I think Jana Otmir would be absolutely revelling at the opportunity. And we saw that at the Champions Winter Trophy 2 weeks ago here at the Home Champions. Again, you can just see how much concentration you've got to have. You're trying to slow the kart down. You're trying to bang through the gears. You're trying to turn the kart into the corner, nail the apex, power out, up the gearbox again, short shift down, left at turn 11. You've got so much. I hate to think how many gear changes you're doing a lap around here. And that's up and down gear changes. So coming to the final 15 seconds plus 2 additional laps. And Cypers leading, Decline and Troyer, who ran out the top 3. They're covered by just over 0.8 of a second. Decline has the fastest lap of the race in the pocket. And still, there are battles up and down the order. There's the there's a few drivers just trying to put the feelers out, try and see if there's a way that they can put a move up the inside, as Alibak's trying to get through on Sieb Kuipers. That is for 5th on the road. And into turn 6, back onto the Europalan they go. But the timer has officially expired. And when we go across the start-finish line, we'll be on to the penultimate lap. We're on lap 16 out of what will be 18 total laps completed by our KZ2 field here. Jimmy Devine has dropped all the way down to 24th. So not too sure if he's hit a problem, but that is not a way to end the weekend. Final lap of KZ2 underway. 0.463. Could be any one of the top 3 will take the checkered flag and win this race. A little bit further back, you've got a train of 7. And Decline is not letting Troyer get past. So Jimmy Devine has parked it, I'm afraid, and is out of the race with just a handful of laps remaining. So, on lap 17 out of 17, and Troyer might be trying a final push. See if he can get through on Christian Decline. Might wait until the final corner to go late on the brakes. But into the final turn, Troyer tries to sweep to the outside to carry through the momentum. But he's not going to get through for second, or is he? Thomas Cypers takes the win in the final. Christian Decline takes P2 by 36 thousandths of a second at the end of 17 laps of racing in KZ2. Jens Troyer takes P3 ahead of Robin Glerum, with Sieb Kuipers completing the top 5. Renzo Alibaks in 6th. Kevin Stahauer rounding out the top 7. Could have been a very different weekend if Kevin hadn't had a bad qualifying yesterday evening, but still made up 5 places in the final. Enzo Bol up 2 places, started 10th, finished in 8th, ahead of Gianni Andresani and Finn Winkel. Dion van Verven, who does have a post-race penalty for unsportsmanlike contact regarding driving standards. 11th, ahead of Gil Mertens, Cedric Mark, Jeffrey Fixer, Fahim Mega rounds out the top 15. Head of Bart Plug. Jana Opmeer, Doug van Siftout, Sam van Verskoylen, and Dan Zopfi rounding out the top 20. Completing the 23 finishers, Maxime Delure, Daniel Tenbach, and Eric Angenent rounding out those drivers. Jimmy Devine out on lap 14, and Rick Vordendag, unfortunately, through an incident, out of turn 2 into turn 3 on lap 1, retired on the spot.